back to basics fun. And today we're focusing on wrapping up the ideas of volume for cylinders and cones and spheres. But instead of finding the volume, I'm going to give you the volume and we have to work backwards. So this is what I do. Whenever I'm given a volume and I'm asked to find the missing side, I think the best thing to do is always write out that formula. What do we have here? We have a cylinder, so the volume of a cylinder is V equals pi r squared h. And then let's label and plug in what we know. What do I know? Well, that's not my r, that's my diameter, so my radius is actually going to be 16. I have the volume, so that's interesting. So let me see, volume is 10,000. What a convenient number. Pi. So what I'm doing is I'm plugging in the information that I know. So I'm replacing V with 10,000 pi equals pi is pi. R is 16 squared. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is a bit of a lag. So let me hit the erase. Try that 16 again. Was it 16? Yep, 16. 16 squared. And I have to find h. Now, here's a fun fact. Let's just get this out of the way while we're at it. If you're doing one of these volume formulas, and it's nothing but V on the one side and nothing but multiplication on the other side, if you see a pi over here and a pi on the other side, you can just cancel them out. Isn't that neat? Just cancel them out. So the pi's are gone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run to my calculator and I'm going to find out what 16 squared is. I feel like I should know that. I feel like it's 200 something. What is 16 squared? 244? Oh, 256. Oh, you know what? Let me turn it off silent, otherwise I can't hear her. 256H. Up 256H. That time I can't blame it on my computer. All right. Is H all by itself? No. What is in the way? 256 is in the way, so let's divide 256 from both sides. Divide 256 from both sides and cross U out. What is 10,000 divided by 256?
It's 39.0625.
So we'll put 39.1 instead of 39.06. 39.1 what? Inches. Inches regular. Now, why am I not saying inches cubed? I mean, I dealt with volume. I did deal with volume. But I'm finding a length. And if I'm finding a length, it's just going to be regular inches or regular feet or regular meters or whatever it is I have to deal with. Okay, so if I'm asked to find the missing side, I write out the volume of whatever I'm dealing with, the volume formula. I plug in what I know, and I work my way backwards. Let's try it again. I have a can of paint. So again, I have a cylinder, and I'm given information about a volume. So I'm going to write out the volume formula for a cylinder. V equals pi r squared h. I'm given information about the volume, and I'm also given information about the height. So the volume is 3785, and that's going to equal pi. I'm given the height, so r squared is what I need to find, times the height, which is 19. On the right side, I have pi times r squared times 19. What I can do is multiply pi times 19, and that's what I'm going to do right now. What is pi times 19?
The answer is about 59.6902.
59.6902. I'm just giving everything that Siri's given me. I'm going to write it all out. Okay. What is 3,785 divided by 59.6902?
The answer is about 63.4107.
All right, so 59. So what I did is I divided both sides by 59.6902. That gave me 63.4 equals r squared. Is r all by itself? No! R squared equals 63.4. So really what I ought to do is square root both sides, and that'll get rid of the square. Square root both sides, and I'm going to get something a little bit smaller than 8. What is the square root of 63.4?
The square root of 63.4 is 7.96241.
So I'm going to put 7.96. I could round it up to 8, but 7.96 what? Centimeters. Working my way backwards. So it looks like when I have to find the radius of something, I have to end up square rooting everything. At least when it comes to a cylinder. When I had to find the height of a cylinder like I did back here, I didn't have to because I didn't have to take the square root of both sides. But since this is r squared and I have to find r, I had to take the square root. So sometimes you square root, sometimes you don't. It's a commercial. Look it up. Oh no, what shape do I have now? I have an ice cream cone. So I'm going to write out volume equals 1/3 pi r squared h. What information do I know? I know the volume. I know the height. I don't know radius. So let's plug in what we know. I know the volume. It's 3.6. 1/3 is 1/3. Pi is pi. Do I know r? Nope. So r squared. Do I know the height? Yep. 4.2. On the right side, I have 3 numbers that I can multiply out. What are those 3 numbers? I can multiply third, pi, and 4.2. So what is 1/3 times pi times 4.2? Probably
It's about 4.3982.
So I'm going to actually do 4.3982. I mean, if Siri's giving me all these numbers, it doesn't take too long to write it out. Now I have to divide both sides by 4.3982. 4.3982. So what is 3.6 divided by... Let's try that again. What is 3.6 divided by 4.3982?
It's about 0.8185.
So 0.8185 is equal to r squared. R squared. Is r all by itself? No. What is in the way? Squared. How do I get rid of the squared? You square root everything. Square root both sides. What is the square root of 0.8185?
The square root of 0.819 is 0.90471.
So we'll put 0.9, which makes sense because 81, the square root of it is 9, so the square root of 0.81 is going to be 0.9. What am I dealing with? Inches. Okay? Okay. So we did a cone, we did 2 cylinders. I can only imagine what's next. A sphere. Find the diameter of the basketball. Well, okay. Okay, that's weird. It's a sphere, so V equals 4/3 pi r cubed. What information do I know? I know that the volume is 121.5 pi. It says so right there. That's going to equal 4/3 pi r cubed. Remember the first video that we watched? If you have, or the first problem that we did, if I'm doing nothing but multiplying on either side, which is what I'm doing, I have 121.5 times pi on the one side, and I have 4/3 times pi times r cubed on the other side. All I'm doing is multiplying. If you have a pi on the left and a pi on the right, they cross out. So what I actually have is 121.5 equals 4/3 r cubed. I could divide both sides by 4/3, but instead of dividing a fraction, I would rather multiply the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3/4. Multiply both sides by, oh my gosh, 3/4. So let's do that. That crosses out. That crosses out. I'm going to put what I have up here because it's getting sloppy and I'm running out of room. What is 3/4 times 121.5?
The answer is 91.125.
So I have 91.125. Goodness. Let's make that clear because I want this last step. This last step's a biggie. 91.125 is equal to r cubed. Is r all by itself? No. What is in the way? A cube. So how do I get rid of a cube? Take the cube root. Cube root both sides. Cube root both sides. That crosses the cube roots out. What is the cube root of 91.125?
The cube root of calculate real of 91.1 and num digits goes to 5 is 4.5.
Wow. Well, it became a nice, lovely number. Am I done? No. Because my job wasn't to find the diameter. My job was to my job wasn't to find the radius. My job was to find the diameter. So normally I'm given a diameter and I have to divide by 2. Now I'm given a radius, which means I'm going to multiply by 2. And so the radius of a basketball, or the diameter of a basketball, is 9 inches. All right. Don't know what's going on with my computer screen, but we're done. Bye.